So what is an appropriate choice for my reader when they're working at the extended code? So when we're talking about the extended code, we mean primarily long vowels and some of that trickier stuff when it comes to English spellings and being able to decode some of those trickier words. So we need to, of course, consider the scope and sequence, making sure that students have been taught the code that precedes that particular text. But when it comes to the extended code, different publishers might approach things slightly differently, and it's really worth being aware of so you can make the best choice for the students in front of you. So let's say, for example, we've learnt the E sound, and we've learned some spellings for the E sound. So let's say E-E, single E, E-A and Y. So here's an example from a Dandelions book. So this is a level 3 book, and it introduces quite a few spellings for E. Now that's quite tricky, right? And I want to show you something on the back, which we really love about these Dandelion books. Level 1 books introduce 1 spelling for E. Level 2, they have 3 spellings for E, and this is the hardest one. This is the E spellings, and there's 4 different spellings that the students will encounter. So that's something to consider. Am I going to pick a level 1, level 2, or level 3 in this particular series if you're using these ones? But in addition, one thing to consider is that with these Dandelion books, for example, the way that the texts are structured is where, as much as possible, the text only contains the new sound. So here and there we might have, for example, we've already learnt the A sound. Here and there one of those words might appear, but they're designed to practice these spellings, and so that's the focus of the text. And so they're really quite well controlled, and that's really great to know when we want students to practice that particular thing. Yeah, so great for intervention and great for a really structured approach to classroom reading instruction as well. When we look at this text, for example, same sound, different publishers, same sound, this one is slightly less controlled. So it also contains multiple spellings for the E sound, so it has 4 different spellings in this one. But it's, even from the title, you can see it's slightly less controlled. So it is assuming that the students can also read the A spelling. So here you can see we've got great, we've got the A spelling in great, and then we've got mate. So you would see this one as more of a cumulative text where we're using the prior taught long vowels and the new long vowels as well. Whereas this one's slightly more controlled. So both of them, fantastic choices, but it just depends on the reader in front of you and what it is that you want them to really focus on practicing. Here's another example of a text that is quite cumulative. We love these big world series from Little Learners, but this one here is a 7.3 book, and you can see that it's practicing the oo, so the double O spelling with the 2 different sounds. But it also, while it tries to be really focused on the oo, is going to also include some spellings of those prior taught phonemes and graphemes. So we've got the double E in here, you can see the double E in there as well. We've got might, we've got IGH, so that's something to consider as well. One thing that I wanted to mention, which we do love about the Spelled South Australia books, is they do a very clever job of making sure they list some words that students might need some help with at the beginning. So that's very helpful, and a lot of the books will have some listed words to practice at the back, so that's with the target sound there, but it's important to note that some of them are cumulative, whereas some of them are slightly more controlled in terms of their extended code. So that's something to consider. So that's the code consideration. If you didn't watch our video on the basic code, let me reiterate some other key things. So obviously cultural representation is very important as well. So we want to see the students in front of us being represented in the text. So have a look at the different publishers that we have on our website and look at the books that are on offer, because there is a range of texts that are available that are really going to be engaging to different students. Topic is really important as well. So there's an increasing number of non-fiction texts on the market. So this one is all about tools and kind of inventions. So that's really appropriate if that relates to your KLA, but also if students are just interested in those types of things. And then obviously we have across the market a whole range of fiction texts as well with those long vowel spellings. So remember, consider how controlled the text is. Is it cumulative or is it very focused on those particular spellings? How many spellings are introduced? That's very important because some students cannot handle 4 or 5 new spellings, so we have to limit that. And remember, representation and topic is really key as well.